everyone. It is Molly. Oh, shit. Already? Good afternoon, everyone. It is Molly, the Kush RN, Minnesota's cannabis correspondent and host of Conversations with Kush podcast. We are broadcasting live today from Legacy Cup 6. And I am sitting down with my good friend, Tricia Scallion-Brown from Centrus Wellness. Tricia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Molly. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, I know. It's so exciting. I love it having you as my first guest because I know when you come into my set, it's going to be silly, freaking debaucherous fun. So please, let's do business first, okay? Tell me about your business. Tell me who you are and how you came into cannabis.
Okay, I'll start with how I came into cannabis. So I've been a bedside nurse for 31 years. I've worked in long-term care, short-term rehab.
Okay.
23 years on a medical telemetry unit, and for the last 4.5 years I've worked on an addiction medicine and mental health unit.
Okay.
I came into cannabis in 2016 through travel.
Okay.
And I found that my cannabis use cut down on my Tylenol and ibuprofen use. I suffer from chronic pain.
Okay.
I have a torn labrum that I sustained while training for Grandma's Marathon here in Minnesota. And
did you do the marathon?
I did the marathon.
Awesome.
I took a break. I did a little PT, physical therapy, rest, and I was cleared about 2 weeks before the marathon. And I did it. I had different goals. It was to complete it, and I did that. And my time wasn't too bad with that break.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so fast forward, you find cannabis. It helps you.
Yes. So I'll break it down to you a little bit. My years of experience and seeing people suffering from chronic disease, including mental health and addiction, a lot of them are lifestyle based.
Sure.
So I discovered this program and I finished my board certification in nurse coaching. And with nurse coaching, I am allowed to be an entrepreneur and develop goals of care for patients.
Is that an actual term, entrepreneurs?
An entrepreneur.
I love that shit. Okay, I have never heard this before. Thank you.
So with that, I really didn't know what my niche would be. I wanted to help people heal from disease, chronic disease, and make it simple for them. Then I saw this canning or certificate program, and being that cannabis had helped me in so many different ways, I thought, I'm going to learn about cannabis. And then I was blown away that we have this endocannabinoid system, which is the 12th body system that has an impact on all our other body systems.
Regulates all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
So there isn't one body system that the endocannabinoid system doesn't help modulate or regulate. It's responsible for homeostasis.
Right.
Now, as individuals, we have to do our own internal work to best help accentuate and enhance our endocannabinoid tone. So we're going to circle back. So I did this program, and I was convinced that this is where I need to be.
Okay.
With the healthcare system, people are finding other means, and they're turning to cannabis for pain, anxiety, depression, for sleep disorders, a host of other ailments that cannabis can really help treat. So as a nurse coach, being certified in cannabis, what I do is I take a client assessment and break it down to simple steps. We address nutrition, exercise, stress management, and social interactions. And it doesn't have to be complicated. So I coach people how to integrate plant medicine into their lives to better help them reach that balance and homeostasis. And that's really what the endocannabinoid system does. But we have to do our part.
Right.
And so that's why I'm in this space.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that really intentional work. I think that as people learn how to deepen their relationship with cannabis and not use it as a crutch and use it very intentionally, I think we're going to have a healthier and a happier society. So, we want to turn away from things that are toxic like alcohol and, for celebration or for relaxation or whatever it may be. I'd love to see the landscape shifting to cannabis versus alcohol or other substances. So, thank you for your work.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I don't like when I hear cannabis being compared to alcohol.
Me neither.
Because alcohol is really toxic.
Yeah, really. They're not in the same category, are they?
They're not in the same category, but they can be used for relaxation.
Right.
However, one of them actually can help enhance our endocannabinoid system function better. So.
And one of them is toxic.
Exactly. One of them is a relationship killer, leading cause of cancer, and other chronic disease. So,
right. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? So
what am I doing
have
now?
a business.
Yes.
You're doing a couple of things.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur.
Centrus Health and Wellness. I do consultations. It's an educational platform where I have HIPAA compliant software. I meet people where they're at on their health and wellness journey, and we could do that via phone or telehealth. And I work with people as much as they want to be supported on their wellness journey with the use of cannabis. I'm also a sales representative for the North Bloom magazine.
Woohoo!
And I have written 4 articles.
Yeah.
And it's more in the living space.
Right. So you have the very intentional work of helping individuals reach their goals and bolster their own endogenous endocannabinoid system. And then you have this beautiful relationship with Bloom, who is also leading the charge in destigmatizing cannabis, and hopefully will be in every single doctor's office in the state of Minnesota and beyond very soon here, because when we have these intentionally designed publications that can really draw people into cannabis in a not scary way, I think that's really important work.
100%. Yes. It's really about destigmatizing the plant and teaching people that they have this endogenous endocannabinoid system. It's composed of 3 parts. We have receptors, and the most studied are CB1 and CB2. We create our own endogenous cannabinoids, and the plant, THC, and CBD really mimic those. So it's really I see it as a supplement.
Yeah.
And it's really teaching people how to use it.
Yeah.
And then we have these enzymes that help degrade the cannabinoids that our body uses.
Yeah.
So it's really an amazing system. When our body is under stress, our body releases our own endogenous endocannabinoids, anandamide, and 2-AG in response to stress.
Right.
So really I want to help people get their body to the best level so they can combat illness. And the endocannabinoid system has a huge impact on our immune function.
100%.
So...
And our GI tract. I think if you are someone that suffers from problems with colitis or IBS or, the other host of peristalsis, host of GI things, it can be very, very helpful. I think there's a lot of receptor sites in our GI tract that interact with cannabis directly, and so if you're someone out there that's suffering from GI issues, please look into cannabis if you've never thought about it. And here's the other thing. So one of the things when I talk about cannabis to people is you probably haven't even thought of all the different ways you can use it or the different compounds that you could use that could be helpful, and most of them are actually going to be non-euphoric, right?
Exactly.
And then the verse of that is I see people that are everyday cannabis users. They've been using it for however long they've been using it. Like they have their whole routine with cannabis. They get home, they smoke, they wake up and they smoke, whatever it is. They're everyday users. I love seeing those folks get in touch with learning about their endocannabinoid system and knowing that there's other alternative to just that smoking. They can use a topical if they smoke because they have shoulder pain. It's like, hey, have you ever thought about using a topical or a tincture or just so that you can mitigate the amount of times you're smoking and doing that whole combustion inhalation. I love the idea of vaporizing. I think that's a little bit healthier. But I just love seeing people's minds open up about cannabis because, man, we haven't even scratched the surface on cannabis and the ways that it can help people. So, yeah, keep your minds open, people. That's what I encourage.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I help people do is, like you mentioned, the topical and edible would help with the longer duration of effects. So that might be a safe alternative or just an alternative to smoking. And I'm going to give an example of a cousin I have who's asthmatic, she's a nurse practitioner.
Sure.
I won't mention her name, but she's going to figure it out real quick. She was really hesitant and critical of what I was doing. Well, I ran into her this summer at a wedding, and I had a rosin from Urban Agriculture.
Was it a gummy?
No, it was a vape rosin.
Okay.
And
nice.
She tried it, and she didn't cough, and she was really sold on that. And With cannabis, THC happens to be a bronchodilator, so it can actually be used with respiratory conditions.
Sure.
The best route of administration, that's going to vary per person, but we know now that dry herb vaporizer, it's very clean, and it's less intoxicating because you're not lighting it with butane, and you're getting more of the medicine. I believe there's like an 8% difference in the amount of cannabinoids and terpenes from the dry flower.
Sure.
So you're getting more of that entourage effect, and science is showing that the more the whole of the plant and all the terpenes and flavonoids and the major and minor cannabinoids, that whole part of the medicine works better for us.
Oh, yeah. And I don't even think science has to come along and say it. I think many people, and I think that's probably why they smoke, right? Because they're getting the full expression of the plant versus like if they take a gummy, they're getting distillate and it's isolated THC, you know, like it's not the same.
No.
It's not the same effect. So yeah, I mean, there's just, and I just want to be real clear. I'm not shaming anyone for the way that they use cannabis. I'm simply asking people to open their minds about it a little bit. You know, I appreciate cannabis so much, and I'm new to this space. So for the 20-year smoker that's been smoking, like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to just let you know that there's alternatives and there's options for things, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I think one thing that's really important to mention, and you've spoke to it pretty eloquently here, is just bolstering your own endogenous cannabinoid system, endocannabinoid system, is really going to do you wonders. So how do we do that?
How do we do that?
Yeah.
Well, exercise. Turns out that exercise helps us release our own endogenous anandamide. There are other forms too, or other activities like yoga, meditation, breath work, acupuncture. Those things have all been shown to help upregulate our own endogenous anandamide. Really, in simple terms, if I were talking to somebody about accentuating their endocannabinoid system, because first of all, the change has to come from within. You can't convince somebody to adapt healthy lifestyles.
Right.
I'm hoping, though, because cannabis is such a wonderful, sacred medicine, that some of these things are going to happen naturally.
Well, I think it brings people into awareness,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
And it creates collaboration. If anything,
Yes.
cannabis has helped me put things into perspective about health and wellness, and it's taught me a lot, and my perception has changed in many ways. But yeah, it's helping somebody select simple strategies. So maybe your sleep hygiene, working on that, setting a specific sleep time where you want to shut off from social media, blue screens. Another thing, too, is our diet in America. Our diet is one of the leading causes of chronic disease, and alcohol and smoking right on with that. So making subtle changes to your diet. If you're a big soda drinker, we are consuming so much sugar in our diets in America. Just cutting down on a soda a day is one simple strategy. Eating
other
less
processed foods.
Yeah, exactly.
With
Processed
corn
foods is interrupting with our gut biome.
Oh, 100%.
And that's where our mood chemical serotonin is 80% produced in our gut biome. So these are not difficult strategies, but it's educating the consumer so that they understand that they do play a role, and it doesn't have to be hard to make great lifestyle changes.
And you know, think about the book Atomic Habits, where if you change one simple thing and you do 1% change every single day, at the end of the year you've changed 365%. You know, I don't know if that's the exact takeaway from the book. It's been a while since I read it, but
close enough.
But yeah, small, simple changes over time really add up.
Mm-hmm. And you know, our environment plays a huge impact on our health.
Yeah.
So you do have to
The people you surround yourself, being in community.
Yeah, and I think the people in this space, the ones that are really going to thrive best, are the ones that are collaborating and working together to build this beautiful cannabis community that I'm so proud to be a part of, and so happy that you have me here today, Amali.
Thank you
you're
for coming on.
Yeah, it's amazing getting the education out there, and I don't want consumers to be afraid. That's why I'm here. As nurses, that's my purpose. I feel obligated to inform the public and let them know that cannabis is a safe alternative to other pharmaceuticals.
Exactly.
And I will share the education. We go over your medication interactions, and we come up with some goals of care and plans, and we nail it out, and you're going to feel better. You're going to sleep better. Your skin's going to clear up. you're just going to be a happier person. And at the bare minimum, cannabis improves quality of life. All the studies show that it boils down to people feel better, their pain, anxieties lessen, their sleep qualities improve. They're just taking action where maybe they haven't before, and that's cannabis is that little nugget or that little nug to help people on that path for better health and wellness. So
So I just want to really encourage people out there too, if you're new to cannabis or you want to try cannabis, you're curious about it, but you really don't know where to start, connect with a nurse. Not only are they going to be able to guide you through the cannabis process, but they're also going to have that component of wellness and health right behind them. They're going to know about drugs. They're going to know about lifestyle modifications. They're going to be able to help guide you through that whole process. And also, if you're an experienced user and you want to think about using cannabis in a different way, maybe you've come to a point where like, oh man, I keep smoking the same amount of stuff and I'm just not getting those same results, or I feel like maybe now I'm like it's becoming more of a habit versus something that I'm using intentionally and that doesn't feel good to me, or I'm starting to spend too much money on it. Think about working with a nurse. I mean, we're not going to shame you for the way you use, and we're just going to help guide you to see if you can change some of those intentionalities about the plant and how you use it. So thank you, Tricia.
You're welcome. Thank you, Molly.
Please tell my audience where they can find you.
Okay, Tricia Brown on LinkedIn, Cannabis Nurse Tricia on Instagram, Ceres Medical on Facebook. Am I forgetting anything? My website, Centrus Health and Wellness. Bloom Magazine, that's a cannabis lifestyle magazine. It won the Green State Award for Best Book Magazine. We're getting a lot of positive feedback on that. It has great content from seed, plant, soil scientists, doctors, nurses, growers, retail businesses. So it's a really great tool that is out there to educate the community, and I hope to see it spread throughout the Midwest as states legalize or not legalize. Just get it out there so people have this beautiful plant medicine to take control of their health.
Let me just give a little plug for Bloom too. If you're a business out there and you'd like to buy some advertising space in their magazine, please feel free to reach out to Tricia or Lynn from Ceres Medical, or Angelique Zarillo from the editor-in-chief of Bloom Magazine. They are always looking for businesses to uplift and people to write articles. So scientists and healthcare professionals, please contact with them and get into community.
Yeah. Bloom's at booth 93. Come see me this afternoon at the Bloom booth at Station 93.
Station 93. It is. I walked Lynn over there earlier. So, well, thanks again,
Thanks
Tricia.
for the plug.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Molly, the Kush RN. We're signing off from Legacy Cannabis Cup 6 today at Surly Field. So come check us out. Peace.